Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, coming at you live talking about episode 2 of the anime series Violet Evergarden. And if you're somebody who happens to be really enjoying this show, great. More power to you. I am very happy for you. But if you also happen to be the kind of person who's enjoying this show and doesn't really care to hear anyone who's not enjoying the show's opinion, you might not want to watch this video. We're 2 episodes in, and the first episode kind of just overhangingly left me feeling meh. Episode 2, that much more so. I was bored, I felt it was slow and lacking any real personality. I felt like a lot of what was happening was just going through the motions of melodrama and things like that. And, primping up the sort of plot line that I don't know how much real weight there is to what plot we're being given. Quite frankly. It's really conflictual. I mean, I feel like there is promise to this, story, to this show. But I'm not vibing. I'm not jiving with it. Now, I've come to understand by looking at my anime list, the episode discussions in the forums. I was reading through that, and a lot of people are sharing my displeasure with it and distaste for it. There are some people who are really banner-wavingly all for it and very excited about it and loving every minute of it. And the sort of go-to thing I keep hearing over and over and over again is, wow, the visuals, the awesome, stunning visuals and everything like that. And quite a few people mirror my own sentiments contrary to that and antithetical to that, which is the visuals look good. What show are you watching? Because most of both the first and second episode of this thus far is at least to my mind, okay, granted I'm watching it on an iPhone, but I'm watching it in 780p or whatever it is, and it looks like it's being passed through a muddied lens. It doesn't look crisp. It looks faded. It looks dingy to me. If it were brighter, if it didn't have a filter, maybe it would look spectacular, but I'm just not getting it. It doesn't look spectacular. The visuals are not the standout thing to me. Nothing about the shows really stand out to me thus far. This episode afforded me a couple of different things that I thought were interesting. The point where Violet steps up as the, auto-memoir doll and ends up breaking the one woman's heart. She comes back upset, and then she just breaks out crying. She was actually in love with this guy and wanted them to ghostwrite a letter for her, sort of, trying to not, pass him off, but trying to lead him on a little bit and make him have to work for her, earn her sort of reciprocation of his feelings and whatever like that, even though she did really, have feelings for him. It's all about the fun of the chase sometimes to some people. And, it's also a level of an extension of her respectability. She doesn't want to just be easy and completely won over by him automatically. So she goes to the auto-memoir dolls seeking some kind of letter. And we finally did get an answer as to what the auto-memoir dolls are. They aren't automatons or anything like that. They aren't robots or anything. What effectively they are. I mean, the one character, I think her name is Erica, sort of goes into the background of the guy who invented the auto-memoir doll because his wife was blind and she was an aspiring author, and this allowed her to complete a novel that this Erica character was very moved by. But sort of playing off of that, what it really is about is writing letters for people who are not so well versed in language, using sort of a poetic license, if you will, softening the blow, choosing your words more carefully, more educatedly, and everything like that. And being able to, pass along messages and send messages for people who aren't necessarily so well educated. They can read and write themselves, but they maybe lack the scholastic, language equivalents of what they really want to embody and impart. And so there's some poetic license that is used and utilized by these women who make up the auto memoir dolls, at least those who are well versed in sort of that imaginative, poetic style of writing, which again, I think her name is Erica, the one with the glasses, sort of looks like Velma from Scooby-Doo. She is lacking the ability to really write that way, similarly to how our titular Violet is way out of her element. So we did find that out. That was something else. Also, the fact toward the end of the episode, we find seemingly, they're still sort of pussyfooting, but the Gilbert guy is apparently dead. He's air quotes not coming back. As per, I think they said his first name was Claudia Hodgins. Claudia Hodgins. Okay, his parents wanted a daughter, and make that 3 things that stood out in this episode. When the lead auto memoir doll lady, whose name escapes me, puts the moves on him and is like, I think it would be weird to call out a woman's name in bed and everything. And you got the little Zeldinch kid, the blonde kid. I referred to him in my episode 1 discussion video as reminding me of Zeldinch from Final Fantasy VIII. Again, I don't remember his name either, but he's eavesdropping and he finds out, Hodgins doesn't have any pay, and why doesn't he have any pay? That we're all not going to get pay this week or this month or whatever. And it turns out he found the brooch that Violet was looking for on the black market, yada yada. It was so dissatisfying to watch. Now, what I will say is I have learned, as I say, looking at the My Anime List forums talking about this specific episode, apparently this episode had a lot of filler material. Some of the characters, some of the background girls, I think Erica might even be one of them, are brand new to this anime version of the story. They weren't in the original, the source material, whatever that was. And apart from the flashback origin of how Gilbert and Violet were introduced, apparently everything else was literally filler, was literally made up, anime exclusive, content. So that could be why this was so dissatisfying to me to watch. Because there were those moments that stood out to me, and I thought this embodies the promise of this series. Again, the way she breaks the woman's heart. Toward the end, the even though they're still kind of pussyfooting and they're not just coming out and saying it, the fact that Gilbert is likely dead. And Violet has this attachment to him, and she's seeking him. She doesn't understand what love is, but very obviously to anyone surrounding her, or at least we the viewer, we know she is completely head over heels in love and infatuated with the idea of him, and understanding why she has that attachment and why she needs to answer that question and all these things. And, such like that. The personality of the lead auto memoir doll lady, putting the moves on Hodgins and everything. These are moments that embody promise and that I was mildly entertained by amidst the rest of it, which was just meh. To my tastes. Again, a lot of the people I see championing this are just banging on and on and on about how stellar and spectacular the visuals are. KyoAni did this show, okay? They also did Hibike Euphonium. Compare the two. Hibike Euphonium looks spectacular. Both seasons looked spectacular to my taste. I loved the visuals and the character designs, the meticulous nature of the backgrounds and everything like that. The color palette. It looked great. This show doesn't. I can kind of, they had an exterior shot of like the little, I don't know, restaurant or whatever it is that the lead auto memoir doll lady brings Violet to, and after Violet's kind of screwed things up and she's having a conversation with her. The exterior of that, it's all floral, there's flowers all over it. If it weren't passed through this muddied lens filter, it would probably look great. The character designs, they would probably look spectacular. The colors would probably pop and be vibrant. I don't understand why it is made to look so dingy. except for the fact that it is some sort of creative license, you know, trying to ramp up the drama by making it look, I don't know, maybe nostalgic, faux nostalgic or something like that. Like, you know, rather than making it sepia tone all out and out, you know, something more akin to Princess Principal in places. You know, they put this muddied filter on, and it looks like crap. It looks smoky and muddy and muddled. And a lot of the time I'm like you know, watching it on my phone, and I'm having to like lean forward and try to get a better like look at everything. And no, for those jokesters in the comments, potentially, I don't wear my sunglasses while I'm watching it. It just doesn't look as good as it should or could to me. And so the people saying, oh, the visuals, oh my God, the visuals, orgasmic visuals. I don't get it. I'm not seeing the same thing you're seeing, apparently. Another thing that irked me, and this is an aside, granted, it's a little mini rant aside, in the people who were talking about it on the forums, you had a couple of people who were like, you know, sharing their distaste for what we've gotten this far, the first 2 episodes. A lot of their sentiments mirroring what I'm saying in this video. And you got people reacting who are just apparently blindly, you know, fanatical about this show and the source material and everything, who are banging on about the visuals, and they're going, oh, you know, it's not for the edgy teenagers, apparently, you know, oh, you're the kind of people who didn't get into Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju or Funewa Mu and this, that, and the other thing, and like, you're just, you know, ornery, angsty teenagers who just aren't getting that edgy groove, that violence, that all that war action you thought you were going to get. Dudettes, I'm 39. I watched a lot of anime. Not as much as some people, a lot more than others. And I loved Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. I loved Funewa Mu. I loved Hibike Euphonium. I love a lot of deep and engaging anime series. I also love slice of life. I love comedy. I like action. There are things, I like a whole broad spectrum. And I can only equate my own personal experience watching this, but thus far it has been dissatisfying. And it has nothing to do with the fact that, oh, your mental age is 10 to 16 and you're an edgy, you know, emo, whatever, and you're just not getting it. You don't understand it. No, that's not what the case is. It's certainly not the case for everybody, and it's certainly not the case for me. Now, let me take this point in the video to point out, I have said there were moments in this episode that did stand out to me, that I did find mildly entertaining, that do embody and embolden my speculation that there is hope for this plot. That from this point on, as I understand it, there's like 12 chapters remaining. If they adapt each chapter to each episode, it's supposed to be really good and engaging, and I can only hope that is the case. And by, you know, voicing my own distaste and dissatisfaction in what we have gotten thus far, it is not to dismantle or demean any of you out there watching, especially a couple of my friends who I know are watching it and enjoying it. It is not to say you are any lesser of a person if you are having the complete opposite reaction to it. If you are, you know, head over heels smitten with the Violet character where I find her off-putting. If you love the visuals where I find them muddied and muddled and not as spectacular as they could be. If you find the plot to be engaging and engrossing and moving at every turn, and you love the characters where I just don't. I haven't had that reaction. It's okay. We can agree to disagree. We can still be friends. So with all that said, that's really all I gotta say. And yeah, I'm hoping for more. I mean, you got a show that should be out, you know, later on today, as of the time of this recording, Koi wa Amiyagari no Yu ni, which I feel is much more engaging, much more interpersonal, much better spectacular animation and character designs, and I expect to be that much more wowed by that show than this one thus far. So yeah, I can only speak to my own reaction to it, and I'm just not feeling it. I feel like it could be better, so much better. And I'm still going to watch it. I'm going to watch it through to completion because there's enough that I'm interested in. I just hope it delivers because thus far it certainly, for my tastes, has not. So yeah, otherwise I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. Even if our POVs happen to disagree, what you thought about this particular show, what you thought about this particular episode thus far. You know, everything going for it. Do you love it? Do you think I'm completely off my gourd? Because that's certainly possible. But then again, maybe not. Maybe I'm right on the money. And maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Let me know that in the comments. Otherwise, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. If this video finds you well, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.